my name is Nick, and I work for the marketing team here at Spindle. Today, I have Todd Leith with me. He's worked with Spindle for over 13 years since its inception. He's a former nuclear engineer from with the Navy, and he is also a former chief engineer at a laundry in the Southeast. So welcome, Todd, and today we want to talk about preventive maintenance.
Thanks for calling upon me, Nick, and looking forward to answering your questions.
Thanks for sitting down with me. So my first question for you is, what are some common mistakes that you find in a preventive maintenance program?
Oh, it's, we used to call it in the military pencil whipping. It's a PM, so you give a PM to a guy and you say, go do this PM, and he comes back and says it's done. And you go into your nice CMMS system and you say, yep, it's done. It's good old pencil whipping. Yep. Did he really do it? We don't know. He told you, you got to trust your guy. He did it. That's nothing wrong with that. But we'll talk about here, hopefully in a little bit, about how we can overcome some of those mistakes. And so that's the first thing. The next thing is from a common mistake problem is the importance of preventive maintenance. So we all get locked into doing corrective maintenance, work order maintenance. You're getting called to this ironer, this small piece folder, this washer all the time. So we're always just fixing. We never fix it right. We never get back to fixing it the right way. So we ended up, before you know it, your preventive maintenance program goes away because we never have time to do preventive maintenance. And that just continues to compound to the point where you're just putting rubber bands on everything, keeping it going.
Yeah. So let's say that someone has identified they have this problem. What are some things that they could do to overcome these issues?
Well, you got to face the brutal facts, as we say, and you got to start from square one. You really have to bite the bullet, and you have to identify all of your problems that you have and prioritize those problems. And then first and foremost, do the preventive maintenance, and then start tackling the corrective maintenance with what time you have left.
Yeah, that's some good ideas. Are there any tools that people can use, engineering teams can use to help them get better organization with their maintenance program?
Oh, absolutely. So there's different off-the-shelf CMMS programs out there that not only laundries use, but several other industries will use. And a CMMS tool is basically a tool that allows you to schedule and organize and document that preventive maintenance is done. It also can allow you to identify work order maintenance is done. It allows you to organize your schedule and your weekly day-to-day routine of what you need to do.
Yeah, and so recently, about a year ago, Spindle launched their own maintenance scheduling software. What are some benefits that Spindle can help customers with that a traditional CMMS system can't do?
Oh, that's a great question. So one of the things that I've always, let me give you a little story. The story is the best one. So I was with a customer a while ago, good year and a half ago, and they were showing me their Excel-based program that they use to do preventive maintenance. And I was looking at one of their plants, and they were 100% of doing preventive maintenance every week. It was checked off. And I looked at one of those weeks, and I said, wow, they did about 100 to 120 hours of preventive maintenance. Because I looked at the data, and I looked at what they were doing maintenance on, and I've been in the industry long enough that I know how long things take. And I did a little quick analysis, and I figured 100 to 120 hours of preventive maintenance occurred that week. They had 2 engineers. And I'm thinking to myself, how could you have done 120 hours worth of maintenance or 100 hours worth of maintenance with 2 engineers on staff?
Yeah.
And that's where, when we decided to develop the maintenance scheduling tool of Spindle, how can we incorporate that into our Spindle tool to really provide clear and accurate data of what's going on in the facility. So like our Spindle Live product, where we measure production and a worker has to log on to equipment. Well, Spindle on our maintenance scheduling work order program, well, we also have to log on that we're doing that PM or doing that work order. And we actually measure the time that it takes to do the PM. Now, the neat thing is we also allow in Spindle the ability to assign the average amount of time it should take to do a PM. So if you are doing a PM that, let's say, is supposed to take you an hour, but every time you do it, you only spend 30 minutes doing it, most likely we're not following the intent of the PM and something is lacking. And over time, you will start having more maintenance breakdowns or more loss of productivity because of those actions. So what Spindle can provide you is a real effectiveness. Are we really truly doing the PMs the way they're designed to do? That's the biggest thing that I can think of that Spindle has provided our industry, that most CMMS tools do not have that ability because there's no login.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. And the Spindle tool is designed for engineers by a former engineer. Todd Leaf played a very big part in that, in the development of our software. So it's built truly with the end user in mind, from a previous end user, what he wished he probably would have had. So
well, then there's another great piece of that, and that's where, you know, although Spindle's maintenance scheduling program can be used as a standalone program in almost any industry, just like a CMMS tool can. Well, when you combine that with a plant that uses Spindle Live, where we're measuring production, we give you the full picture of what's going on in the plant from a production labor standpoint to an equipment standpoint, from breakdowns to preventive maintenance to work order maintenance. It really gives you the holistic picture of the capabilities of a plant.